Okay, this podcast is dedicated to answering the question, will China be the next great superpower? My name is Jordan Hawks.
My name is Michelle Hawks.
My name is Karen Sasser.
Okay, first we're going to talk about the economic issues. Will China be the next great superpower? What do they have going in their favor? First of all, the growth rate. China's annual growth rate has an average of 9.6% as compared to the current superpower in the world, the United States, with 2.8%. China's GDP, or gross domestic product, is expected to pass the United States GDP between the years 2020 and 2030. What's keeping them from becoming the next superpower economically? Two things are dollar pegging and the copycat culture. Dollar pegging actually helps China's economy, but we're talking about becoming the next superpower, the leader of the world. They can't rely on the United States economy. If they are to do this, they have to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. Copycat culture. This hits the same point. Many companies in China reproduce designs made by companies in other countries. On the screen you see various pictures of examples of fake and real products that have been reproduced by Chinese companies. This is the same point. If China's economy is to be the world leader, they have to be able to innovate and make their own products. What are they doing to solve these issues? There are a couple examples. 2 companies, specifically Xiaomi and Meizu, made cell phones as copycats, but they've started to make their own designs and innovate for themselves. Also, companies like Haier and Lenovo have always produced their own designs and innovated for themselves. These are Chinese-based companies, and this is a type of innovation and leadership that will push China forward to be the world leader and the superpower economically. So the answer to this question is economically, yes, they will be the next superpower.
Although China has the potential to become the next great superpower, it will need to sort out some social issues to have the support and strength of its people. Firstly, the lack of individual rights is a large problem in that citizens feel they are not being represented. Demonstrations are currently happening with approximately 100,000 all over China to show how unsatisfied the people are. Land grab policies have caused conflicts and violence between the government and people, and the seizure of people's property has caused many to lose jobs, which widens the gap between rural and urban people. There is much separatism and tension between the Han Chinese and the Uyghurs, one of the largest minority groups. Riots from the Uyghurs to the CCP due to religious regulations started in 1980 and continue today. Many Han Chinese are migrating to Western regions, and minority groups are worried that their religion and culture are in danger. As far as health and education is concerned, many people in rural areas cannot afford to pay the premiums for health insurance, and many students are also pulled out of school by their parents to work to pay off debt. Lastly, as a result of the one-child policy, 30 million men won't have brides in the future. The elderly won't be able to rely on their children to care for them in the future, which will leave the state the responsibility to cover the expenses, which could be considerable, and a decreased working class is constantly the trend.
Unless addressed, China's pollution problem will hinder their ability to be the next great superpower. Rapid growth and industrialization has been the focus of the government since 1949. At that time, they failed to make a plan to control the waste that accompanied growth. Unregulated pollutions, increasing auto emissions, along with human garbage and waste, has created severe air, soil, and water pollution today. On December 6th, the air pollution index in Shanghai registered 23 to 31 times higher than the recommended levels, and particulate matter reached a level of 466. The World Health Organization's recommended limit is 20. China's soil is suffering from decreasing pH levels due to over-fertilization and overcropping, acid rain, and increasing concentrations of heavy metals in the soil. Over 1/2 of the surface water of China is severely polluted, and 90% of the groundwater is polluted, with 60% severely polluted. The government has announced new actions in the forms of regulations on emissions, punishments for breaking the law, and monetary rewards for curbing pollution. They also announced limited development in vulnerable areas, as well as the development of clean energy sources. If China can solve these environmental problems, they will be able to become the world's next superpower.
Okay, so we've talked about 3 different aspects about China becoming the next great superpower? Our overarching answer is yes. We think that the economic influence of China will outweigh the environmental and social ills, and they will become the next world superpower.
Because of a large rising middle class, our consumer goods are rising in prices, which answers the question, why should we care? Also, people have differing opinions about China. Whether or not we feel that China is a threat or opportunity to the U.S., it is equally important for us to become informed on what is happening in China, as well as what may occur in the future.
It is important that we become aware of how to compete and perform in a global economy that is shifting focus from the U.S. to China. Here are our references. Thanks for listening.